It says the chief can allow it for traffic control vehicles, not for patrol enforcement. This is enforcement.
No, he can use it for anything he wants.
No, that's incorrect.
You're wrong.
So how am I wrong? Explain it to me.
Because even when you read that paragraph, I know that you guys have been debating that for a while, it even says in that paragraph that the chief of the Washington State Patrol, which is our chief, and is a state trooper, can leave any car he wants unmarked in our patrol. So
For traffic control.
The law was created for people's safety.
Sir, the chief has authorized it.
Yes,
According to the RCW, we're compliant within the law.
but it's still not being followed correctly.
So then that's a issue not to be taken up with us, but the legislature, if you feel.
The legislator's already written the law,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
but the police departments aren't following it.
Well, I'm not a police department, I'm the Washington State Patrol. This is for the State Patrol, this is the RCW for the state, and the chief of the State Patrol has authorized it.
Which are illegal in Washington State, you are aware. I love how you guys make laws and then break them.
What it says where he can do it for anything is for traffic control, which that's the yellow lights for telling people to move over, controlling traffic, not enforcement. You're enforcement. Look at the law. It specifically says he can do it for any traffic control vehicle. It doesn't say anything. Even your own website contradicts what you guys say. That's traffic enforcement. Control is yellow lights. Control is yellow lights.
Okay, what is the difference between traffic control and traffic enforcement and law enforcement?
I wouldn't say there is a difference. I'd say it's all combined. So the Washington State Patrol is one of our main focuses on law enforcement is traffic safety and the motoring public and patrol on the highways. So that's a traffic control situation. So state patrol cars are exempt because of this subsection here, where the governor has given the Washington State Patrol chief the authority to make those decisions. So our chief has elected to allow us to patrol in unmarked vehicles.
But,
have that back.
yeah, okay, I got a few copies of it.
Yeah.
But the traffic control, wouldn't that be for like construction zones? Say a light goes out and they're controlling the traffic. Wouldn't control mean making traffic move, traffic control, and not traffic law enforcement?
So that's up for interpretation. So the law states that it's for traffic control purposes, right? And so the way that the governor has read that is that he's allowed the chief of the state patrol to mark his vehicles however he deems appropriate.
You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm fine with that right. Now you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
This video is to help the people of Washington State and those in other states with similar laws in getting these blue line extortion gangsters to comply with laws meant to bolster public safety and rein in their ability to police for profit. In Washington State, RCW 46.08.65 regulates the exemptions to properly marking vehicles owned by the state or any other localized governmental body within the state. I've done several videos on the subject already and cover it later on with the order followers in this encounter. Links to my previous videos on this subject and other sources are in the description. While you're watching, remember to hit the like button, share this video with everyone you know, subscribe, and leave me a thought-provoking comment for the world to see. For those who are unaware, I'll read the section of RCW 46.08.65 that pertains to the Washington State Patrol before I proceed. Subsection 2 of this section shall not apply to vehicles used by the Washington State Patrol for general undercover or confidential investigative purposes. Traffic control vehicles of the Washington State Patrol may be exempted from the requirements of subsection 2 of this section at the discretion of the chief of the Washington State Patrol. For over a year, I've tried to find what my statist friends tell me is a good cop, who will actually listen to my complaint and look into the fact that the vehicles WSP is claiming qualify for this exemption, in fact do not. No surprise here, it hasn't worked. Now, I've changed my tactics to get more results than what you saw in the opening montage, and here's what I have so far. WSP responded to a public records request I submitted by sending me a list of vehicles that qualify for the exemption granted in the RCW that were listed as general undercover or special investigative units. Ironically, my request specifically asked not to have these included, as these are granted an exemption from marking in the RCW itself. In response, I submitted pictures of a few of the unmarked traffic enforcement vehicles I have come across, asking for the list to include those vehicles and their exemption and who assigned the cars and their drivers. This is the list I got back. These are all Washington State Patrol traffic enforcement vehicles assigned to traffic enforcement sergeants. I was also sent this section from the Washington State Patrol Regulation Manual. The file was labeled TZT Regulation Manual. As you can see, this is chapter 17 covering vehicles, and these are pages 454 and 455. Section C is the start of what covers enforcement vehicles. Take special notice here, guys. This doesn't include traffic control vehicles, but only enforcement vehicles. The first section under enforcement vehicles is for traffic sergeants and states. Vehicles issued to traffic sergeants shall be various colors having no decal markings. Then it goes on to talk about license plates and push bars, etc. The important thing is, this clearly states these unmarked vehicles are assigned to traffic sergeants in enforcement vehicles. This doesn't meet the general undercover or special investigative purposes criteria, and as clearly stated in the WSP 2019 manual, these are not traffic control vehicles these order followers are driving, but instead enforcement vehicles. So they don't meet the criteria required for the chief to be able to exempt them at his discretion either. But this must mean all these valiant heroes are actually breaking the laws they're supposed to be enforcing. You know, the same ones they enforce on us to keep us safe. I'm doing this video because I want people to see the process I used to get this information and then how to use it. This video and its follow-ups are to encourage others to use this knowledge to empower themselves to do the same in their own area. For those in Washington State, I have a present. Just before I started editing this video, I submitted requests for the same list of unmarked vehicles in most of the counties in the state, and I'll get to the rest tomorrow or shortly after. Once I receive them, I'll make a video sharing the lists and giving public access to them for others to do the same thing I'm doing in your own area. For the record, I figured they would refuse my request to file a criminal complaint or to arrest or issue any citations to any troopers present in violation of the RCW. But as my friend Randy Kelton from Rule of Law Radio says, I had to ask, and I guess they had to refuse.
What can I do for you?
Hey, I've got, I guess, like a complaint to lodge, first of all. But then also, I need to talk to someone about you guys driving these unmarked cars that are unlawful. I got a public records request. I requested for the cars that fit what the RCW says, and then
Actually, they are lawful by the approval of the Chief of the State Patrol.
Yeah, so that's for traffic control. So here's what I'm here to tell you. Me and citizens of this state, you can listen to me if you want.
Sure.
So me and the citizens of this state have been trying to get you guys to follow the law that you guys enforce for years, and you guys refuse to do it. The same excuse you give us he can do it for any vehicle, right? Is that what you say?
For traffic enforcement.
It says traffic control in the RCW, doesn't it? He says he can do it for, well, why don't you look it up instead of telling me what the law is? Can you look, I'll get my phone and look it up right now. I know the law, I've looked it up several times. It says, he says for investigative purposes and for undercover work, they can be used. Those are the only exemptions for Washington State Patrol for enforcement.
Sure, I'm not going to argue, but let me see.
So here's I need someone that's gonna arrest some people. That's what I need, because we're breaking the law here. So here we have false advertising. This is one of the ways they try to get away with unmarked vehicles, is this aggressive driving apprehension team, ADAT. They actually used unmarked. They don't use these that are marked. That's a lie.
Yep, sir.
Yeah. So we need to figure out how we're going to do something about the sergeants that are driving enforcement vehicles that are unmarked.
Okay.
That's illegal in this state. I know you guys know that. It's for the Washington State Patrol. Here, I've got it up. Let me just read it to you on my phone here, okay?
All right.
It says right here for Washington State Patrol, shall not apply to vehicles used by the Washington State Patrol for general, undercover, or confidential investigative purposes. Then it says traffic control vehicles of the Washington State Patrol may be exempted from the requirements of subsection 2 of this at the discretion of the chief. So I've got a list of all the ones that are those first exemptions, the investigative, general investigative purposes, and undercover. I've got a list of those. And then I have another list which is classified as this FOB/TZT. And I was given a manual that those are sergeants. Those are traffic enforcement sergeants, not traffic control. Those are enforcement, according to your manual, that get assigned any vehicle that is of any color without the decal. And that does not meet up with those requirements I just read for exemptions. So I need to file criminal charges against these, criminal complaints against these officers that are driving these. So I'm a nice guy. I've been hounding you guys for a year about this, and nobody's done anything except lie to us about what that statute says and what you guys think it says. So I don't believe in initiating force for unjust causes like victimless crimes like you guys do in this state, the enforcers. So I propose giving you guys a week to get all these fixed and get them under the requirements before I come in and file criminal complaints.
You're talking to the wrong guy. I'm not a policy writer.
Okay, so who
If you want to file a complaint or criminal charges against the state patrol, then you can't file it to the state patrol.
So who would I file that with?
You file it to another law
Because in the RCW it says the agency that assigned the vehicle is the one also for enforcing this law.
Okay.
So you guys have to enforce it on yourselves, and you're getting called out on it. And nobody wants to do it. So who's going to start arresting people that are driving these?
What you're reading to me, I don't have.
So you can get I can tell you right here. I have it written down. It's in chapter 17, section C. Says enforcement.
And I'm not going to.
And that says sergeants, section 1. Their vehicles issued to traffic sergeants shall be various colors having no decal markings. That's a traffic enforcement sergeant that is breaking the law, this RCW. So I'll give you a week to start getting those fixed, okay? In a week, I'm gonna come back. If they're not fixed, then we're gonna file criminal complaints and we're gonna start getting people arrested. Oh yeah, you can laugh and think it's funny. You guys arrest us for breaking the law. I don't believe in this stuff. But I've talked to you guys nicely. When you're out there doing patrols, I approach you, say, half of you don't follow your policy and even give me your name and badge number so I know you are real officers. But I deal with that. You're very unprofessional. And so now you're laughing at me thinking this is a big joke, that you guys are supposed to enforce laws and you're not. You're gonna come up with it's a gray area. Oh, he can enforce, he can exempt anything. He can't. It's for traffic control. He can exempt anything. So there's 2 cars, one in the back of the parking lot there and one here, that are breaking this right now. So somebody should be issued with a citation for that. Whoever drives those and whoever issued those.
Thank you for your concern.
So we're just not going to. So if I came in here and says I was assaulted by this guy down the street, you guys would investigate that, correct?
No, we call the sheriff's office and they would come investigate.
Okay, so you guys are just for extortion purposes?
No.
So what do you guys? Are you guys not public safety for this state? What's the intent of this law? Can either of you answer that?
You'd have to ask the legislator. They're the ones that pass laws.
But you enforce it, right? Okay, but you're going to enforce, so you're going to threaten violence against someone that's driving down this road here at maybe 66. What's the speed limit here, 70? So if they're going, is it 77 or 78 that it's worth a threat of violence to you guys?
Sorry, we don't threaten violence.
What's that?
Sorry, we don't threaten violence.
So if someone's driving, let's say 85 miles an hour down this road, and you guys turn on your red lights and red and your red and blue lights, that's not a threat of violence. If that person keeps going, you're just going to let them go. You're just going to let them go.
It's not a threat of violence.
It's not a threat of violence.
What is it then? So if that person says, I'm driving, I'm not hurting anyone, I'm just going to carry on down the road, what are you guys going to do? You going to do a pit maneuver on them? Or are you just going to let them drive down the road peacefully?
That's hypothetical situation.
No, it's not hypothetical. It happens every day, sir. It's not hypothetical. It happens every day. Okay, so sir, I'm going to get the last speeding ticket you issued, and I'm going to see. So luckily, because you guys use this threat of violence against us, we all are coerced against our will to pull over so you can extort money from us.
Sorry, there's no threat of violence.
There is. So knowing that, the next time I'm with anyone going down these roads and they say that and someone has red and blue lights behind us, we can just keep going, and no violence will be perpetrated or initiated against us.
I didn't say that.
Well, then how is it not a threat of violence? Your job is unethical, and you're being forced to face that, and you don't want to deal with that. It's called confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias?
Yes, and cognitive dissonance. Your job is to extort money from people who are supposedly free. And now that I'm here to try to get you guys to enforce the laws that you're supposed to enforce, you're telling me to have a good day, instead of actually deal with the people who you steal money from for your pay. It's disgusting. You're a thief. Your job is not a hero. You guys are all thieves and disgusting. And the people of this country and state are waking up to it. So let me ask you, the day comes when they say to come take our guns, whose side are you guys on? Are you sticking with the Constitution of this country, or are you sticking with your masters in government? Great service, guys. Appreciate it. Good stuff.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button and share it with everyone you know. Find us on Twitter, as well as censorship-free platforms like BitChute and Steemit or DTube. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to smile at someone you don't know every day.